Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Warzone 2's different gameplay updates that we've seen so far have been controversial to say the least, right? When we first saw Warzone 2 at Call of Duty Next, there were a lot of mixed opinions on the gameplay. Since then, though, we've already had some leaks surface saying that they've changed gameplay a lot based on some of the feedback that the streamers and creators gave at COD Next, but also just the general reaction to the community. Like, for instance, at first, there was no loadouts available in the game, at least loadouts in the way that we know them now in Warzone 1. The only way to get custom guns in Warzone 2 was to go to a buy station and pay some pretty high prices just for one gun for yourself, not to mention the rest of your team. Since then, we've now learned that apparently loadouts are going to be back in a way that's more aligned with Warzone 1 gameplay. Same deal with perks, which in Warzone 2 that we saw were not even a thing. They weren't going to exist whatsoever. They weren't even going to be there at launch, according to Call of Duty. Those are supposedly back now, according to leaks. And then also looting was like this whole backpack slash inventory system that was very much so slowed down from the very quick and easy Warzone 1 looting. It was a lot more similar to, you know, Apex or Fortnite or other games like that. That has also apparently since been changed to align more with Warzone 1. However, there is one particular system that seems to still be active in the game according to various people who've played it, and it could end up being a situation where we essentially have the best of both worlds that brings in a new system but also allows the old system to exist at the same time, and that is the way that attachments are going to work in Warzone 2. So initially back at Call of Duty Next through gameplay, a lot of creators noticed that when you went through and actually opened up the buy station, you got some information on this attachment system. This, for instance, is stemming from a tweet that Modern Warzone put out a few days back. He says attachments will be lootable in Warzone 2, and any found attachments can be equipped to your weapons for free using the upgrade weapon tab at a buy station. There weren't any attachments to loot at Call of Duty Next, but for what it's worth, we also know that build at Call of Duty Next was potentially several months old at that time. That was an alpha build of the game, not even close to what the game is going to be, you know, come launch on November 16th. But when you opened up the buy station, you were met with this message. Information: spend cash to buy attachments to upgrade your weapons. Any attachment looted in the world can be equipped for free. So essentially this would be Blackout and Warzone sort of combined into one when it comes to upgrading your weapons. If you recall, back in Blackout, the only way to, you know, upgrade your guns, put on optics, put on stocks, silencers, extra magazines, was to find those in the world themselves. If you know, stumbled across a red dot sight in, you know, firing range, for instance, you could throw that on your KN-57. If you killed a player and in their, you know, bag they had a paladin that had a sniper scope, you could have that on there. But it wasn't like Warzone where you just come fully equipped with your guns out of a loadout. This, though, based on the leaks that we have, then also the gameplay that we saw at Call of Duty Next, would indicate we are essentially going to see a mix of each. If this system does stay in the game, which keep in mind, you know, again, the Call of Duty Next version of Warzone 2, where this information is stemming from, is not the final version, so this could very well change. But honestly, I feel like this is the way they're going to approach it because it does sort of appeal to both types of players, those who want the slower, more loot-based gameplay and those who want the Call of Duty Warzone Battle Royale style gameplay where it's very fast-paced, chaotic. You don't have to spend much time doing anything but hunting players. You could essentially have it where while you're looting the world, you know, early game, you find a random gun on the ground. Let's say it's an M4 or an M16, and you find a different barrel to throw on it. You find a red dot sight, you find a suppressor or an underbarrel. You can go ahead and equip that to your gun for free right away. Now, I would also imagine there will be upgraded versions of guns, the blueprints of weapons that, you know, entice players to go and say, oh, you know, this weapon that I picked up off the ground seemed really good. Let me go buy that blueprint. You know, got to entice players to purchase things in the store, but you could equip those attachments on your guns right away for free. However, you know, once you get whatever necessary amount of money is required for a loadout in Warzone 2, again, according to Metaphor's leaks that say loadouts are back, you could go to the buy station, purchase your loadout, get your own custom class, just like in Warzone 1 now. But let's say maybe you don't have enough money to purchase that loadout, and you know you're probably not going to get any anytime soon. You'd rather just, you know, have a gun you can trust, get geared with it, and get on your way, right? Rather than having to spend multiple minutes potentially getting enough cash for that loadout. Well, in that case, let's say, you know, you only have 2 or 3 attachments on your M4. You have a silencer, you got a red dot, and you have a stock. you can bring that M4 to the buy station potentially and upgrade it there if they in fact keep this system, instead of having to spend more money and buy a loadout. From that point, you could say, all right, I need to buy an underbarrel for this M4, I need to buy an extended mag, and I'd like an optic that gives me more visibility at range. You could in theory go through and actually spend money that way as well. And this, at least in my own opinion, is a very, very strong system to, like I mentioned earlier, appeal to all types of players. By the way, before we expand more on this, if you guys are new to the channel, every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, especially as MW2 is on the horizon. The full game drops here very, very soon, and Warzone 2 shortly thereafter. Everything you need to know about each game will be right here on the channel daily, so feel free to hit that subscribe button and join us on the road to 1 million. And if you guys enjoyed this video, a like rating would be seriously appreciated. Also, right now, to kick off the launch of MW2 with the early access campaign, my G Fuel discount code IMMORTAL is boosted to get you 30% off your entire orders. So if you want to stock up for the launch of MW2, get ready for Warzone 2, now is the best possible time to grab anything you might need. Restock on your favorite flavors, try something new. Code IMMORTAL gets you that discount at checkout. Link will be down below. But anyway, this sort of hybrid system, if you will, would allow players to, you know, still grab their loadouts and get their own custom guns when they can't afford those. And ideally, they do it in a way where it benefits your entire team, unless, of course, obviously you're playing solos. But if you have a decent ground loot gun and you're content with, you know, using that for the remainder of the game, or maybe you just can't straight up afford a loadout drop by yourself, right? You could always go through and upgrade that weapon to at least make it a little bit stronger and a little bit more competitive, rather than being stuck with a very basic ground loot gun that might not, you know, necessarily win fights against a full customized loadout gun late game. You know, maybe you throw on those extra attachments you could buy for $1,000 in the buy station each, and suddenly you have a chance to outgun that player who's got a full-on loadout. You know, a system like this wouldn't necessarily always incentivize having to save for a loadout if you can find a decent amount of attachments on the ground for free and be close to getting a, you know, fully upgraded weapon with just a couple of, you know, extra purchased ones at a buy station. I think this could be really cool. Again, this is completely subject to change because of that version at Call of Duty Next being an older alpha version of the game. So we are going to have to wait to launch to see exactly how this is approached. But based off of all the information that we have up until this point, the various leaks from Metaphor, which have all been very credible up until now, then also obviously the gameplay from Next, this is the way that I currently see it playing out. But as we get any new information on this, as anything is revealed in the coming days and weeks, you guys know I got you covered with that and everything else going on with MW2, Warzone 2, DMZ, you name it, you're gonna find it right here. So feel free to subscribe, that way you can always guarantee you are up to date. And if you guys enjoyed this video, let me know by dropping a like on it, as it would be seriously appreciated. All that being said, that is effectively gonna wrap things up for this one. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.